What is up, fellow YouTubers? It's your sexy goth bad boy, King Cobra JFS. Back at you with another video. Hmm. And, the elections are almost upon us. And Tuesday, I will be going out and voting and exercising my rights as a Wyoming citizen of this beautiful country called the good old United States of America. And I'm voting for Gordon as governor for Wyoming, which is conservative. I saw his campaign ad on YouTube and I'm like, yo, he wants to make better schools, improve jobs, help the economy out in Wyoming. I'm like, this guy's got my vote. That's just got a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Governor Gordon. Yeah. Now, for a lot of Wyoming Night citizens, the idea of voting conservative is scary because people are so used to voting Republican because that's all they know, you know. But, and I'm only going to say this once, and it's the only thing I'm going to have to say Trump's Republican. And that's not an attack on Republicans in general, it's just, you know. Unfortunately, Trump is very inexperienced when it comes to politics. He's never like this just feels like something he did because he's rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh well, I've done this, I've done that. Oh fuck, I haven't become president yet. Oh shit. I don't know. I'm not here to attack Trump, but I'm just saying. A lot of people are sick of Trump shit right now, and a lot of people are not too happy with Governor Matt Mead at the moment, and he's almost out of office. Oh, joyous. You know, when you talk about growing Wyoming's economy as a whole, legalizing cannabis would definitely make Wyoming's economy boom. When the oil dries out, people leave states, the economy dries up. But if you got something like cannabis and hemp, it's providing your state a natural and consistent resource. You start thinking about it from a economic standpoint, if you will. And here's the kicker of it. Here's Governor Matt Mead on TV saying, "Hi, I'm Governor Matt Mead. If you or a loved one suffer from pill addiction, please consult, blah, 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 blah." Now, the reason why Governor Matt Mead has refused to legalize weed in Wyoming is because he's being bought out by big alcohol and big tobacco to keep that illegal. He owns Wyoming Budweiser, and he also owns, he's one of three people that owns Wyoming whiskey. So a lot of it is to protect his interest in his alcohol profits instead of looking at it as, okay, a business opportunity. Instead of being like, oh, it's reefer madness, blah, blah, blah. And here's why Governor Matt Mead, and I quote, says, well, the reason why we don't want cannabis legal in Wyoming is because kids are trying alcohol and tobacco at the age of 13. We certainly don't want them trying marijuana. Keep in mind that cigarettes and alcohol can cause death, where literally there have been no deaths associated with cannabis. Unless, of course, You were in a car, you got into a crash, and like a bunch of weed just crushed you to death. That's the only way. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to overdose on cannabis. You'd have to smoke like 4 to 8 times your body weight to receive a lethal dosage. Whereas things like caffeine, alcohol, and tobacco are very easy to overdose on. That's why you have to be smart and responsible. But you sit there and say the reason why they don't want marijuana legal in Wyoming is because kids are trying alcohol and tobacco. But then you sit there and then after saying that, he's one of 3 people that owns Wyoming whiskey, and he's also owns the Budweiser plant. So I'm sitting there going, okay, if you really care about kids trying alcohol and tobacco, then why the fuck are you making money off an alcohol company? Eh. Fuck, this one's got air leaks. God damn it. Hold on a second. I've been having rotten luck with tobacco pipes lately, but right now I got 3 or 4 in my collection that actually work. This one's got, and the reason why this pipe has air leaks is because that stem is from a different bowl. But that's alright. Bust out my church ward in here. Put that in there for display pieces. As a display piece, I guess. But I'm sitting here going, when's, okay, the 21st. Gotta go up to the college and vote. And I gotta get up early enough so that way, you know. Even if the person I want to become governor doesn't win, and that's the thing of it is Pete Gozer didn't make it, and I voted for him. I wasn't too happy about that. It is what it is, but at least I exercised, at least I earned the right to complain. Okay, here's the thing of it. If you don't go out and vote and exercise your right as an American citizen, you do not have the fucking right to complain about who's in charge. Like, even, and I get that, a lot of you think, what's the point of voting? My guy never wins. Every vote counts, man. And to be quite fair, there are some countries that don't even get to vote. Oh, you don't like the asshole that's in charge? Tough shit. So, yeah. I voted for Gary Johnson in the presidential election, but of course it was between Trump and Clinton. And a lot of people didn't trust Hillary, so they're like, let's see, corporate controlled cunt or complete retard with no experience. Fuck, they screwed us hard on this election. Didn't even give us a cigarette or a date, just straight. And that should tell you how much people do not trust Hillary. They're willing to elect somebody that has no political experience whatsoever. And that's nothing against women. I think it'd be awesome if we could have a woman be president, but we could do so much better than Hillary Clinton. And could you imagine what that would do to these women oppressing Middle Eastern countries? They would shit themselves, dude. They would be like, oh, did you just see what America just did? What? They have a woman president. Oh, shit. They would lose their freaking minds, man. Oh, it'd be awesome. They would lose their shit. They would. YouTube, trust and motherfucking believe. If you thought the press flipped out over having a half black president, imagine what happens when we get the first woman president. People are going to lose their shit. And there are some people who aren't comfortable with the idea, but I'm like, okay. Every president we've had has been a male, which were given birth by what? Females. Right. So the idea of a woman being president, it should not be a scary concept to people. They should be down with the idea of it. You know what I'm saying? It would shake things up, right? And I guarantee you that would solve every argument with couples everywhere. Honey, let me just stop you for a second. Yeah, I voted for the first female president, so I don't want to hear your shit. Just keep the nuke buttons away when her friend comes to visit. Oh, it's horrible. Nah, to quote Ron White, I never make light of a woman's period because I guarantee you if my dick started bleeding, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's cute, I'm spawning. Fuck that. I'd be running down the street going, my balls are bleeding. Or into the fucking hospital. But speaking of the age-old battle of the sexes arguments, on a more serious and less humorous note, for the sake of a fair discussion, we've all heard the expression, be the bigger man. That being said, it kind of feels like that, you know, any sort of attempt to, you know, and it's a power struggle. That's all it is. It's not even that's the thing of it. YouTube is it's not even a matter of okay, this person has a penis, this person has boobs. No, it's a power struggle, plain and simple. You take gender out of the equality out of the equation completely. Got my words mixed up. Blah. You take gender out of the equation completely. It's not a matter of tits or dick. It's just a matter of it's a power struggle. Men and women are placed into this society that's competitive as fuck. Case in point, you have TV commercials. Every one of them is competing for your money. Buy this, buy that. People rub houses, relationships, cars, and jobs in other people's faces. But here's the thing of it. Sometimes it feels good to brag about yourself a little bit. When you've busted your ass to get somewhere in life, it feels good to have some self-acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? That's reasonable. But sitting there, treating sex like it's a like on an Instagram post, that's bullshit. When people treat relationships like they are a social status, they are a social perk. What's the difference? A social perk, it's like being able to go out and legally get a job. There are some people who can't legally work. It sucks. Being able to buy a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? These things aren't completely needed, but they make life easier. You know what I'm saying? That's a social perk. You don't need it necessarily. Having a job is more or less a social status, but having a girlfriend, having a car, having a cell phone. You don't need these things in life to be happy. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn to be content with what you can get. Because sometimes, it ain't gonna be diamonds and gold. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's just the fucking truth of it. Sometimes in life, you're given a shitty circumstance and you make the best of it. I'm talking about the Middle Eastern countries that treat women like absolute dog shit. So if you really want to complain about living in America, well, as I famously love to say, it could be worse. It's 108 degrees outside, and you're wearing a full body tent for fuck's sake. Because heaven forbid you show your fucking ankles. Could you imagine living in a country where you get caught masturbating, you go to jail, and you could get executed for that shit? I mean, that's a little fucking far, dude. I mean, there's times where I choose to be celibate just because the dating scene's not the easiest, and it is what it is, and sometimes it doesn't hurt to play your cards smooth. But could you imagine, dude? And you wonder why they hate America so much, dude. Like, goddamn. They got sand up their ass crack. They can't masturbate. It's 110 fucking degrees outside. And they have no fucking freedom whatsoever. It's so sad, dude. Like, I can't begin to understand why the fuck. And this is what I don't understand. Is the assholes ruling these countries, the fucking assholes ruling these countries, they have it good. They're up in their palace or what the fuck ever, living the life of luxury while people below them starve and struggle. It's bullshit. I don't think any of these hard third world country leaders have any sympathy at all. But the thing I would ask them if I could is, how would it feel if you didn't have the things you have right now? How would it feel to have to kill for your food? Not knowing when your next meal is going to come from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I tend to think, okay, yeah, there are some things I agree with. Like, there are some other countries that do things differently, and I guess I agree with it to a standpoint, to a certain standpoint. And this is just an example, but India, for instance, says it is illegal to have sex until you're married. And you must be married to the woman for at least, 1 year or some shit before you can do that. I mean, yeah, it would prevent teen pregnancy, but then for adults who are actually 18 years of age or older and consenting and being responsible and they're out of high school and they just want to have fun, that kind of... But I feel like that when the expression is toughen up, man up, that sort of thing, men are just expected to put their hands in their pockets and walk the fuck away. It's unfair, but it is what it is. So it gives a lot of women this impression that they can just treat men however the fuck they want, and society will automatically take their side first because they're a woman and blah blah blah. That, you know what I'm saying? And the problem with that is that because women have been treated like shit for the last 200 years or so, give or take, that, historically speaking, karma's kind of biting men in the ass for this shit. If men want to complain because it's unfair because women are starting to get better treatment, I wouldn't call it better treatment. I'd call it at least a fair treatment. You know what I'm saying? I don't see why women and men can't make the same amount of money. If you work for the same company, you have the same amount of experience. You know what I'm saying? And you have the same job title. Why aren't you getting paid the same? it's understandable if one person has had more experience than the other person, and they've been with that company for so much longer. So of course they're gonna get paid more money. But if you know what I'm saying, I don't know. I think Governor Matt Mead's approval rating might be kind of low at the moment. A lot of people are sick of his shit, and they're like, you know what? So maybe this is just a friendly suggestion from your local Casper Autistic. You know, one of them at least. You know what I'm saying? It's very typical to see a lot of politicians attack each other in campaign ads, but Senator Gordon's not attacking anybody in his ads. He's just telling it like it is. Like, hey, you know, this is what I believe in, and if you want their shit, vote for them. You know what I'm saying? Exactly my point when I say that even when you pass the age of junior high, you never grow the fuck up. You see adults bickering like children, competing for your vote. Now, if you think your vote doesn't matter, then why the fuck would politicians try so hard to get it? My point exactly. I guess the topic of this video is voting counts. You may think it doesn't, but every vote makes a difference. Say it with me, Wyoming. Governor Gordon. That's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Conservatives tend to be split down the middle when it comes to Democratic and Republican issues. Some people aren't very versed on politics. You know what I'm saying? It's like you mix a Democrat and a Republican, you get a conservative. You mix a conservative with a Democrat, and you get a liberal. But the election is on the 21st, and I'll be going out and exercising my right. So I would encourage you all to do the same as Wyoming citizens.